Alright, so let's start and complete our week 1 hands-on assignment. So this assignment, I think it should be pretty fun, and honestly students tell me the hardest part about this assignment is actually finding a photo of themselves. So you'll find a photo, you'll upload it to, in this case I'm going to show you how to do it to Google Drive, but again you can use other services for cloud as long as they are accessible, meaning when we click on a link we see your photo. Okay, but I'm going to show and I recommend using, and I've said at the beginning, you know, Google Cloud or Google having a Gmail is just part of the requirements of this class. Then what we'll do is we'll take that photo, we'll modify it so it's smaller, and we'll talk about what that means, and then we'll upload that into your Blackboard profile so that from here on out, whenever you post things, we see that photo of you. Okay, so let's turn to the screen and take a look at what we need to do. So here in the calendar in our course, right, we are on a hands-on, and hopefully by now you get used to using this or using the menu to get to this. Right, so I already have the instruction open. Here they are. Let me just zoom in a little bit so we can see that. You can read this on your own. Basically, here's what you need to do. So let's just actually do it. So the first thing you'll do is set up a reply, right? And on the subject line, you know, put something fun. Oh, wasn't on the subject line, was it? Or you can put hello world. I don't care. Right, something fun. Do something that, you know, kind of shows your personality here. So change the subject line. And now what you're going to do here is you're going to put my photo. And let's go ahead and make it a heading because you know, hopefully by now, I like headings when I do links and I like them larger. You can even do what you see me doing sometimes if you want. Not required here, is to make it, you know, because it's kind of a clue now for all of us that when you see that, hopefully that means a link. Okay, so now the question is, you know, where do you get your photo from? Well, that's really up to you. I'm going to show you, I have one over in Facebook, right? So here's my photo over in Facebook, and I went to options and I just downloaded it, and then here it is. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Again, I'm in Chrome. I'm going to show all the photos, right? Or show all the downloads, and then here is the, now notice what Facebook or other social networks will do often. And I'm going to just show this in the Finder so that I have it. It's a really long image name or file name. And that's fine. It's just kind of sometimes a pain. So if you ever wanted to, hopefully you know this, how to rename, right? And you notice too, it's a JPEG file. Okay, now you can modify this file with whatever you wanted to. And we're going to modify it in a little bit with a software that, or a web app that's on the web. So, but also know that when you double click on something, if I double clicked on right now, this photo, what it's doing is the operating system, Windows 7 that I'm on, associates that photo with this app on the local system. And if I could, and I probably can modify it here, I can do that. But I'm not going to do that, okay? So the first thing is, oops, sorry, I already did that, is I have my photo and I'm ready to do step 1, which is upload it to the cloud, okay? So I give you a link here to drive.google.com. Now you need to already be logged into Google, which is cool. And then when you click that, it'll take you to your drive. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do new, file upload, and I'm going to go find that photo right there. This is the large one. It's uploading here, right? And then I'm going to hit share. And hopefully this, you remember this from week 1 hands-on. I'm going to hit make it shareable. So what that means is anybody that clicks on this should be able to view it. And I'm going to hit copy link. Okay? I'm going to come back to the hands-on. And again, you can make the text something different here. You can click the icon for the link, paste that in, make sure part of the work here is to open in a new tab or window, and that's what that means, and I'll hit insert. Okay? So that's step 1. Right, is to do that. Now remember, I always like to hit save as draft, and to do a real test here to make sure I've shared it correctly. Okay, so let me just make sure you get this. To make sure you've shared it correctly, really what you'd have to do is log out of your Gmail, because if you weren't logged out, that wouldn't tell us if you had shared it to where anyone could see it. So if you want to do that step, I actually do recommend it, but I'm not going to do it here because I want to keep my drive logged in. Okay, so let's check the instructions. Okay, so we've done that part. That's an important part. Oh, let's go ahead and test it. I talked about it, but then I didn't do it. So yep, that looks good right there. Okay. So now what you want to do is now you want to update your Blackboard profile with a smaller version. So let me just walk you through where you get to that in Blackboard. So I'm going to come back here, and I have, for some reason I have the two of these open, but up here at the top. Okay, so if you can't see that, let me increase it just a little bit here. Notice that most likely, now some of you may have already done this part, which is cool, so you're not required to do it. So, but if you don't see a photo here, I want to see a photo of your face. And again, a headshot is best if you have one. If not, have somebody take one. Take a selfie. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click on the photo, and it's going to say edit my profile. Okay. Now, for some reason, they had some default information for me, so I'm just going to edit my settings and privacy here. I'm going to, because I had my name incorrect for some reason, okay? And then I'm going to change my picture. So notice what it says here. It wants any of these type of files, GIF, PNG, or JPEG, less than 2 megs and 280 by 280 in dimension. So how do you do that? Well, on the hands-on, I've provided you a link to a website that you can edit images. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, or actually I have it open already, and it brings me here. Now, I just will give you a warning here. I've had students in the past actually go to this website and think they had to download something, and you don't. You don't have to download one thing here. I mean, there are options if you want to, okay? But the reason I've given you the link to the editor is so it takes you directly there, okay? So now I'm going to open an image from my computer. I'm going to grab that photo, and notice where it already goes. You can tell I've been here, so if you don't see your photo show up, you need to find that. Open it up. Good. And in here, this tool is really easy. Cropping. Hopefully you've done this before, but I'm just going to take a square headshot of me. I don't want the whole body photo here. And I want to do, oh, and then I click it again to crop it. It asks me, and I say, yeah. Okay. Now notice what size it is. It's 240 by 368. So really what I wanted to do was probably make that the same height and width. Okay, but I can also do it this way now that I have just that. Okay, so I'm going to change the size. I'm going to change the first one to 280. Sorry, 280, right? Isn't that what it wanted? Wasn't that? Let me just make sure that's what Blackboard wanted. 280, right. So if I make the first one 280, the second one changes proportionately. And I can tell it not to, right, if I wanted to, but I'm actually going to see if this will work, even just doing it this way. Otherwise, we know it won't. Okay, so now that I've done that, I can say I have 280 by 245. Let's see if that works. Because the thing is, I have to save it, right? It's going to save it on my computer. I'm going to make this file name different so I know what it is. And then I'm going to save it back in that same location so I know where that's at. Okay, so now back in Blackboard, I'm already ready. I'm going to upload new. I'm going to grab that, which by the way, important to see here, the size difference between my original one and this one. And the reason why, hopefully you know, is because I changed the size, the amount of pixels, the resolution. So it's uploading that photo right now. Let's see if it complains about me. Oh, look at that. Okay. So what it did is it did upload it. It is going to make me and give me the option here to center it the way I want. That's cool. I'll do that, which is kind of a nice option. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, so let me go ahead and hit save here. I think there's anything else. Okay, so if you don't change this to institution, it won't show up. If you leave it as hidden, it will not show up. And I think it's just institution. Let's hit save here and find out. It's saving, so it looks like it's done. And look, it updated here. Perfect. Okay, so the idea here was that we took a photo, we uploaded it to the web, we provided a full length, right? So in other words, when you click on this link, let's just go down here, right? So this photo shows us the bigger size. We then modified that photo to show a smaller size for some reason, probably because I haven't hit refresh here, but we know that it did show up when I was on this other tab here. Okay, so we did that. So we're almost done. All you have to do now is you have to write 150 words introducing yourself to us and reply to 2 of your fellow students. Okay, so so what do you do here? So if you've done this to where you hopefully are used to the idea of draft, you hit edit, right? And under edit, you then go down here and write your 150 words introducing yourself to us, and then after students are doing replies, you do 2 replies. And remember, once you do those 3 posts, your main and 2 replies, then you can go into my grade and see that it's set up there. Okay? Hope that helps you out, and I'll talk to you later.